everyone. Coming on here tonight to share with you a little bit of a serious video. So it is September the 2nd, and if you didn't know, September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And if you are my friend, family member, or you follow my page, you will see me post about sickle cell often. So our middle son, our 2-year-old, has sickle cell disease, and he has SS genotype, which is the worst type of sickle cell. And I hate using that term, the worst sickle cell, because you can have SC and still have really bad sickle cell. So I hate when people refer to it as the worst sickle cell, but SS is classified as the most severe case of sickle cell and with the least survivorship. So our middle son, our 2-year-old, has sickle cell disease, SS, and we found out when he was 5 weeks old. So before I had a child with sickle cell disease, I knew very little about sickle cell disease. I had only known 2 people my whole life with sickle cell disease, and that was T. Boz from TLC, because she's a big advocate and she talks about it freely. And I also knew this guy growing up, Jerry Lee, with sickle cell, and I knew that he was sick a lot, he was in the hospital a lot, but I didn't know anyone else outside of those 2 people who had sickle cell disease. And so my 3rd trimester of being pregnant, they let me know that I had to be tested, and I did get tested, and they let me know that I was going to have the baby tested when he was born, because my husband had sickle cell trait and I had a sickle cell trait. So sickle cell disease is not something that you contract or that is contagious. It's something that you're born with. It's when a mother and a father both have the sickle cell trait, and when a mother and a father both have the trait, your child has a 1 in 4 chance of getting sickle cell disease. And so that's how our middle child, Carlin Josiah, got sickle cell disease, from both of us having the trait. Now, I didn't even know I had sickle cell trait until I was in my 3rd trimester. So I just didn't even know that this was a possibility that my son was going to have sickle cell. And so I found out when he was 5 weeks old. I found out because he had severe jaundice, and he was very yellow and he was a very sickly baby, just very skinny, would pack on a lot of weight, just very yellow eyes, just very yellow. And they wouldn't put him under the light. And then his pediatrician ended up telling me that she was going to start him on penicillin twice a day, and she said it was because of his jaundice. And long story short, we found out on my 30th birthday that he had sickle cell disease, and we found out he had the most severe one. So fast forward, he is 2 years old. He is a happy baby. He is very blessed, but it is a lot. And I came on here to shed a little bit of awareness with you guys, because every day me and Carlin answer a lot of questions. And every day we hear a lot of really, really, really insensitive comments. And every day we are expected to be somewhere or do something that we can't physically be or do. And so I wanted to shed a little bit of awareness. So when you guys see me post my children, you see our highlights. We might have a day that is full of pain crises. And so if you guys haven't been following my posts, people with sickle cell disease are in pain a lot. And some people with sickle cell disease have mild, moderate, or severe pain every single day. There's not one day that goes on where they're not in pain, okay? So we have really tough days, a lot. And so we might have 10 minutes to an hour out of that day where my son is just so happy and he's dancing and he's smiling, and I'm taking pictures or I'm recording videos, and I might post it. But that does not mean that the rest of the day was candies and rainbows, okay? Also, my son is on a lot of medication. He's on a lot of medication, and he's been on a lot of medication since he was 5 weeks old. And so I want to show you guys how much medication a 2-year-old is taking on a daily basis just to get through his day. Okay, so this is his penicillin. He takes this twice a day, every day. This is folic acid. He takes this once a day, every day. So his body got immune to Tylenol and Motrin. So if you give him Tylenol and Motrin for his pain, it doesn't work. So he can currently use ibuprofen. I don't know how much longer he can take that, but he takes this like water. When ibuprofen is not working, he has to take oxycodone, which he takes this sometimes every 4 hours, constantly for days at a time for his pain management. And then his liquid chemo medication is hydroxyurea, and he takes that once a day. So those 5 medications is like routine maintenance medications. That's what like he would normally take, and that's not if he goes into the hospital and they give him something else. So with the oxycodone, my son is loopy a lot. Basically, he's high a lot just to not feel pain. I hate giving him that, but sometimes he is so miserable. Sometimes he is so miserable that we have to. Kids with sickle cell, people with sickle cell, because they don't make full blood cells, they make sickle blood cells. They don't get a lot of oxygen to vital organs, which is their brain, their heart, their lungs, and so they have developmental delays, they have physical delays. And so imagine being a child who doesn't get enough oxygen to their brain or to their heart, to their kidney, or to their liver all day. So when people ask me questions like, why isn't he talking in sentences, or why can't I understand him, or why isn't he doing this, or why isn't he doing that? Not only is it very insensitive and rude, but his body is literally at war with himself every single day. Every single day. Okay? Not only that, but when he gets even a common cold, it can land us in the hospital. It can land him in a crisis. It is bad. So we can't take him to many places. We can't do many things. We have to be so careful in where we take him and what we do. And we literally have family members that throw so much shade and say we don't come around. We don't make efforts to be at family events. We're not making an effort to visit, to come, to be a part of this, to be a part of that. We have friends that don't check in on us, don't see if we're all right. They just get upset that we're not at a part of their events, or that we can't do this and that. This is the thing, you guys. Sometimes we can say, okay, we've had a great week. We're just going to go out to eat as a family. And my son gets sick, and he's sick for a week, and he's crying and screaming all night. And we don't get sleep for a week, and we're drained and we're tired, and we're putting him at risk, and we're making his fetal hemoglobin go lower, and it's a disaster. So sometimes we just prefer to keep him safe in a bubble. This is the thing. He's on chemo to raise his fetal hemoglobin, to raise his hemoglobin, period, so that he can get a bone marrow transplant. And a lot of people say comments about that too. Yeah, he's gonna get his cure. He's gonna get his bone marrow transplant, which is true. He is. We're hopeful. But there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of complications. It's not a quick fix. You pop in the hospital, they inject you with a shot, you come out, you're cured from this disease, and you go on living a healthy life. That's not how this works. It's a long process. It is very expensive, which is another thing I want to talk about. A bone marrow transplant out of pocket after insurance is around $45,000. So that's on top of what you're already paying for your child's medications, your child's doctor's visits, your child's hospital visits, everything. Okay, so sickle cell disease and cancer patients all see the same doctors. They see hematologists and oncologists. They see the same doctors. It's a blood disorder. Cancer is covered under insurance. Sickle cell treatments are not covered under insurance. And all it takes is for the code to be changed. You know, someone being in pain every single day of their life, someone not getting oxygen to their brain, to their liver, to their heart every single day. It's not an elective surgery. It's not an option. It's vital. It needs to be a code. It needs to be changed. And so we're working hard on finding out the information to get insurance companies to change that code, because there's so many families suffering financially and mentally because of this disease. Not only is it hard on the sickle cell patient, but it's hard on the families. Why? You can't put your child, if your child has severe sickle cell, you can't put them in daycare. They don't recommend you putting them in daycare. They want you to homeschool them. They want you to keep your child at home. Okay, but sickle cell disease, anybody who is taking care of someone who is sickly, it is very expensive. You have to work 2 and 3 jobs and have a 2-parent home and do so much just to be able to afford medical, 3 doctors, medication, transplant. It's a lot. Okay, so you can't physically stay home and take care of your child because you have to work to take care of their medical expenses. It's like a lose-lose situation. So cancer is funded through your insurance. Sickle cell disease, bone marrow transplant is not funded. And so there's a lot that comes with it. And so if you don't see me at all of your events, if I don't reach out to you a lot, I could literally be consoling my screaming child. I could literally have not had sleep in 3 days. I could literally be having so much on my plate from going through so much, caring for someone who is in constant pain. And you guys, I feel sorry for my child. He's happy. He wants to play. You know, he wants to jump. He wants to run. He wants to skip, and his body just won't let him do it. And so September means a lot to me. What can you do? So if you don't personally love someone with sickle cell, it's not gonna hit home to you like it does someone who loves someone with sickle cell. What you can do is sign a petition to change the code so that families who have someone with sickle cell are not in financial strain, are not in mental strain, because they cannot afford to care and pay for all these medications for their child. Another thing you can do is support by getting soap. You guys, soap. The reason why I make soap at home is so that I can take care of my child at home. The reason why I don't work 3 jobs out in the open anymore, so I can take care of my son at home while I'm making soap at home so that I can pay for his medications. And so, y'all, the soap is all natural. It's the best smelling soap ever, and you need soap anyway. So share this post, share with everyone you know, and just love on someone who's caring for someone who's sick, because it's hard. Whether you're loving on someone who has cancer or diabetes or sickle cell or whatever, it's tough. Whether you're caring for a parent, a grandparent, a child, a spouse, it is hard. It is hard. Have some understanding, have some compassion. So share this post, spread the message. September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Spread the love. Love on someone who loves someone with sickle cell. You might not know too many people. If you do know someone, love on them. Don't ask too many questions. If they want to talk about it, they will open up and talk about it. The worst thing you can say is they don't look sick, they look fine, they look healthy. You can't tell with your eyes if someone has sickle cell. They look normal. The pain is in the inside, but sometimes it's the pain that you can't see. Everyone is fighting a battle that no one knows about. Unfortunately, with sickle cell, you won't know by looking with your eyes. Someone who has it, they'll have to tell you if they want to tell you. So I'm telling you guys, my son, my 2-year-old has sickle cell. He is in a fight for his life. He is so special and so amazing and brings so much joy to our lives every single day. But he does have it rough, and I trust God no matter what is thrown my way. I thank God for this miracle baby. I thank God that he gave me this baby when doctors said no. I thank God that he just is such a light in our world, and so I'll gladly do whatever it takes to make him the healthiest and happiest that he can be.